Do the invocation for us, please?
Sure. Dear Jesus, thank you for this day. Thank you for bringing us all here together to discuss this important issue, Lord. We know that you care about the animals just as much as anything, and as much as we do, Lord. And we pray that there's good things come out of this, and better care for the animals, if possible, is achieved. And we pray that also the taxpayers' money is stretched as much as it can to do that task, Lord. Pray that no selfish things are done today, that all of our focus be for the animal control. Amen.
All right. Do I have a motion on the agenda?
I have a motion to add something to the agenda. Can I do that before we have the agenda?
We have our call for this first meeting, so if it's within the call.
I don't know what you mean by that.
We gave a description of what the call was, so if your motion fits it, tell your motion.
You're treating it like
And then he'll tell if it fits
Because
the
this is the
call.
first meeting, we just want to be extra careful. It might not absolutely be
We can't
necessary,
add
but
any crazy things that aren't within the
Okay.
call.
we want to make sure the public is adequately informed of the proceedings.
Thank
So
you.
say the motion, then we'll know if it can fit within the
It
call.
has to do with adding the citizens to the committee, and to push it back to the Health and Emergency Services to help us decide on that.
Can we not pick the citizen within this committee?
This would probably need to go back to Health and Emergency, since this is what created the committee.
Yeah.
The citizen appointment needs to go back to there.
So can
Could
she make the motion?
That could fit under the organizational aspects of this agenda, so that would be fine.
Okay.
So state your motion.
Could it fit under A, rules?
Yes. Yeah, it could fit under the organizational aspect of this.
My motion is to add to recommend that we take back to the Health Emergency Services the addition of the citizens, and I suggest 2 citizens, and that way it'll be more balanced committee. So that's my motion.
Motion to vote on citizens to add to the committee recommendations too.
Right.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay. We have a motion on the agenda itself with the amendment.
Motion to approve the agenda. Second. With the addition. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. The agenda is set. All right, I declare the nominations for chairman open.
I would like to nominate Tim Jones as chairman.
Any other nominations? Nominations are closed. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Mr. Chairman, your meeting.
Thank you for the nomination. I would reluctantly accept it. You're gonna have to help me a lot through this.
Okay.
We'll move on to number 5, the election of vice chairman. Do we have any nominations? Can I nominate first? Does anybody else want to nominate?
You can do that if you'd like.
I would like to nominate Commissioner Janone for vice chair.
What was that?
Right back at you.
Air. Gas in my stomach. Sure.
All right. All those in favor? Well, let me ask any other nominations for me today. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Okay, we have a vice chairman. And election of secretary, but I guess we have to elect that.
I'd nominate Terry Boyd to
I'll
be
second
the
that.
secretary.
Since it's already kind of happening. But any objections to that? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, that's unanimous. Terry is our secretary. Okay, we have one person that signed up to speak. Is there anybody else that wants to speak for citizen comments? Nobody? Okay. Please come up, state your name and your address.
Good evening. My name is Kathy Arlen, Kathy with a C, C-A-T-H-Y, Arlen, A-R-L-E-N. My address is 231 Chipaway Drive in Gallatin. So I did put together a couple of slides, but it's a small group, so we can either do it or not do it. So if you want to see it,
You probably can see
you probably
yeah.
can hear it.
Why
That's right.
don't you come up here to the middle
Okay.
and just put your computer right here beside the owl, and we can probably all see you.
Yep. That
Flip
sounds great.
it around to us and
Put it
sideways.
onto,
Turn it that way.
Yep.
So you want in the video.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just turn it to the side so the.
so like this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like on the other side of it.
Right.
I could just plug it in.
This way.
Yeah,
We
if you
get
go
it
down to
worked
that
out.
one right there, maybe the owl can see it and we can see it.
Turn your.
Hold on just a second, I'm just setting it up.
Oh, sorry, like that way.
Yeah.
Like you said, put it where her book is, and that way. I don't know if the owl could focus in on that close, but we'll give it a shot. If not, we'll talk about it and describe it.
Hold on, I'm having technical difficulties. So basically, last time that I was here, we talked a little bit about some of the concerns that we had, and a presentation was done while we were there about some of those concerns that were addressed in the first meeting. One of those concerns was social media and how animals were being put out to the public to see. So we were told that there was kind of a robust social media response at animal control. During that day, we had looked and we called, and this was back in September. We called, we found there were 4 dogs listed and 1 cat. All of them had dates of 2022. And also, when we called, we were told that none of them were there any longer. And of course, we know there are more animals than that on Pet Finder. So when we went back to look at this today, those same 4 dogs and 1 cat from 2022 are still on Pet Finder. It's not updated, and really all adoptable pets should be on the Pet Finder platform, because that's where most people, if they're searching for an animal, that's where they go to look. And every rescue in town, every animal shelter goes through this platform. And obviously we've used it before, but this has not been updated whatsoever. So that was one of our biggest things. Our second concern, I want to keep this really brief, was that animals are not being vaccinated or spay-neutered when they are leaving the facility. And we were told in the presentation last month that there were not funds to do that. We were also told in the same presentation that $150,000 of allocated budgets was sent back to the general fund. So the question is, there was money, why?
That was from animal control, correct?
Oh, but yes, that was animal control's presentation, and during that presentation, they said that $150,000 was returned to the general fund. And our question is, if that was the case, why was that money not allocated to vaccinate and spay-neuter those animals? So, and just in conclusion, we really appreciate this committee, and we're really looking forward to putting a little, so to speak, Kaizen and continuous improvement into animal control. So thank you all. That's all I have.
Thank you, ma'am.
I had one more question. Thanks for keeping me in order, Commissioner Johnson. That was from the website Pet Finder or from the animal control?
That was, I went directly from, and I can show you how I did that if I want to. I went to Google, I Googled Sumner County Animal Control, and in it, it says find adoptable pets through Pet Finder. It has a link directly to Pet Finder.
Their link
to Pet Finder goes to that. So, and and I actually have been into Pet Finder itself and could not find anything other than those 5 animals that are clearly outdated.
Thank you. Yeah, that is, anybody else wants to speak? So that concludes our recognition of the public. Procedure and order rules for the committee. Help me do this, Steve.
I believe in opioid abatement, you all accepted the standard standing rules of the commission.
Oh, yeah, yes.
I mean, that's a good place to start, in my opinion, but it's up to you guys what you want to do.
No, I don't want to do
Well,
it.
that's really what it's about.
I mean, that's included in the standing rules.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
I
yeah.
Make a motion.
Former commissioner, you're familiar with that.
I make a motion to, adopt the rules for the committee as the standing rules. I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we got our rules. Schedule regular meetings. How often do you guys
Well,
want to do
we-
this? And I'm opening this up
And
because I really don't know how long this is going to take. I don't want to take any longer than with our scopes that we've kind of laid out here. I don't think it should take too long, but how many times per month? I don't want it to linger on and take a long time.
Mr. Chairman, motion to discuss in a second, probably.
Yeah.
So,
So a motion to discuss the procedure order. No, got a motion, second by Commissioner Jones. All those in favor?
aye.
Aye. Okay.
So my question though is, to me, it's not a matter of how long is this gonna take, it's a matter of what we're going to do about it. So are we wanting to meet once a month? I mean, I think once a month is good because everybody works and so do the folks that are concerned. So would once a month be enough? Would not once a month be enough where you could maybe come?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Okay. My question is, once a month, I know opioid abatement, we did every 2 weeks, we got a lot going on with that. But I think that, that gives us time for, in my opinion, I'm just, giving my opinion, to hear what the concerns are, to discuss through the things that we've got going on, and then continue that information to the next time. So that as we bring on the citizens on the committee, we can, they can be a part of that as well. Y'all have any ideas? Terry? Tim?
I mean, yes, once a month, like I said, you're limited, to an hour and a half meeting. The general concerns have probably been the same for a long time of different issues. And correct me, Mr. Chairman, I may be wrong, but I think the primary focus of this is to address some concerns and make recommendations for the sheriff to consider. Once again, we can't make the sheriff do anything. He's a constitutional office holder, and he runs his facility. And if he entertains the recommendations and decides to do it, good, great. If he says no, I'm opposed to that, or I will be doing that, end of story. But the people that are here now, like I said, they've got some good concerns, some good ideas, but a lot of time it does take funding and personnel in order to get those done. But like I said, always open, just like I had told before, and some of them know me when I ran it, always open for suggestions. I did everything that I could do based on the guidelines that I was operating. But like I said, we could come out of this committee with something really good. Budgetary, they may see something, let's do X, Y, and Z, and the sheriff looks at it, it's fantastic. So it's just yet to be determined. But like I said, the committee's a good committee, doesn't hurt. Good recommendations can come out of it, and then the sheriff will.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but I don't think the owl's working.
The owl?
Well,
Oh, no.
Did it go off, or has it never been on?
It's been on me with this camera right here the whole time.
Well, I mean,
We've got it with the ceiling, but I just want the
Do we
public
need
to
to move
know.
somewhere?
is it getting audio?
Yes, you get audio through here. What I'm saying is, just so you know, this is going to be a internal system this time. The owl is not functioning properly.
But the owl's getting audio or no?
I have no idea.
Okay.
This light right here is on right where I am, so I have no idea.
Jiggle the cloak. That happened.
So the test will be to see if the camera follows?
There's no, it's just looking at me, basically.
That's what I'm saying, if you see it
You
move,
don't
then
see
we
any
fix
lights
it.
on it.
I think that was designed with the chair.
That happened in opioid abatement. It was a
Yeah, I know.
wonderful
So you
meeting.
would see the two
Yeah, but
round lit
it's
circles
plugged in,
that
but
are
there's
on.
no
No one home.
one home.
There were
Is it plugged into have you kicked the plug out? Because there's two plugs that must go into the floor power. Yeah, go ahead.
It's plugged in down here. Wait a minute. Yeah, it's plugged in. I don't know, I'm just saying for the public who's watching at home, just to be aware that the audio quality is probably not going to be the best because we have that right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and,
Where's the highest?
it's supposed to be
If
on.
there's no power, that's the.
No, oh, the,
I'm gonna go ahead and turn this off as just me. You all don't wanna see,
No,
I just
no,
wanna
well-
see me the whole time.
hey, just turn it to where it's focused down the table. No, not the laptop, but the, okay, there you go. That way at least they can see
See some of us, yeah.
the viewing and maybe
Okay.
between the two.
But I think the audio is contained in this unit, so this unit doesn't have power, so it's just gonna be a mute.
Well, between,
Yeah.
Okay,
This audio-
I didn't mean to interrupt you,
Oh, no,
but
it's fine.
I just
We
wanted to
need
bring that to your attention that you know it's an issue, so.
I do think it's important that, I know that the sheriff is the constitutional officer and he'll do whatever he feels necessary, but I do think it's important that we, give the citizens an opportunity to express their concerns and that we are, not just pushing it away. You know, it's okay for a little while and then all of a sudden it just, you know, it kind of, gets forgotten and then the issues come up again.
Well, I agree.
Yeah, so I think that giving them an opportunity for them to come to the meetings and then again, bringing our citizen members on board to kind of go through things, maybe that we can't fix everything, but at least we can talk about it.
Yeah, we can make some recommendations.
Sure enough.
And like I said, and just for the record, the sheriff has met with a lot of these individuals personally, at the sheriff's office and other locations before and talked to them.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean, like I said, that nothing was done or something was done. But he has entertained the public and listened to them before. It's just like I said, what are the results? You know, is it the results that the group of individuals who were asking for? Is it what was done? Some yes, some no.
Well, it may help alleviate a lot of the citizens in the community. It's not just, certain people, but there's a lot of people in the community, citizens, who have general concerns about animals and care and all that, and it will help, hopefully, eliminate a lot of those, I guess, anxiety over what's going on. I don't know, or their,
I don't mean to be interrupted again, but we need to probably bounce back on the agenda item.
And that's
scheduling.
no, that's fine. So is everybody feeling like the once a month is going to be adequate for meeting, enough time to research things and get things done, to report back? Because there are going to be some things that may require homework and, find out better ways to do A or B or C or whatever. So once a month, is everybody in agreement on that?
I make a motion for once a month.
When?
Do you want to follow suit with this, or do you want to do it like before a commission meeting when we're going to be here already?
No, we have resources.
How's a Tuesday like this, the next month, same time?
Tuesday
Does it conflict with anything else, other things in the county or school board or city meetings that anybody needs to be at?
I don't have to be at city meetings. I do enjoy attending city meetings, but second week in November is, the second Tuesday in November is November 14th. Because there's not a Tuesday, the end of October is that last Tuesday. So if you go with it once a month, then it would be November 14th would be our next.
And you got December, what, for the next one, second Tuesday of December? So make sure a couple of them out don't conflict with anything, and if that's all right, then we can go with that and change it if need be later.
So you're talking about November?
14th, right?
Right, the second Tuesday, and then December the 12th. And I will not be probably here December 12th because I may have to go to a training program, but we don't know yet. Yeah.
Possibly carry on.
Same time.
Same time, second Tuesday of the month, until further notice. Do we have a motion on the floor? Do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Who's the motion maker? Mary?
Mary made the motion.
Okay.
Can make a second.
Matthews made the second.
5:30 p.m.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Who will make reservations?
Were you and I?
Let's make reservations for the
With, probably do it from the mayor's office.
mayor's office. Okay. Who will be doing that? Secretary?
Secretary.
Did you record your vote, or you and I? or
I'm an
Matt?
aye, yes.
Okay,
Sorry.
that's unanimous then. So November 14th and December 2nd, and carrying on the second Tuesday of the month. All right. C, discussion of brief timeline history of the animal control in Sumner County. Who is going to lead that? Because I don't know the brief timeline history. Is that you?
Yes, before, animal control has started out,
Tell him, say, do we have to discuss this, or can he just present this?
It's just his presentation, so it's not a problem.
Okay.
But we'll discuss it afterwards, and you need to have that, yeah.
Sheriff's Office took control of animal control in approximately 2008, result being that animal control used to be under the county executive's office, which was Hank Thompson back then. The building was inadequate, to say the least, and some other issues as far as training and non-training. The personnel that was over there was brought to light. We had several citizens that came forward and wanted to talk about and discuss that. We went over, and Hank Thompson and Bob Barker, Sheriff Barker, got together, and Bob agreed to take over animal control to get that situation going, on the condition of enough personnel to run it and a new building. It was horrible. What was there before? Brick or block, no heat, no cooling. I mean, it was bad. So that's what was done. Took it over in 2008, operating out of the same bad place that it was. And we went over, and I was the county commissioner, went over there, and my wife and Reagan Hall painted the place one afternoon, stuff like that, just to try to improve something. But we ran through that. The county commission approved a new building, 10,000 square foot, $1,295,000 to be spent on the new facility. It was modeled after Mount Juliet's facility.
What year was that?
That was in 2011 when we took possession of the building. But they did that. We officially opened the building 2011 dedication, and we've been in the building since then. And as far as personnel and stuff, like I said, they added, they didn't have a vet at first. We had a vet, and that vet was not following proper protocol in the euthanization of animals. So he was arrested on that, charges brought. Time went on, we didn't have a vet for a little bit. We just had vet services here and there, and then we had another vet that was able to come on board, a good individual that was with us for a while, and then a question came up about euthanization that was done, and so we ended up had probable cause to bring charges for improper euthanization. At that point, so we had to make the arrest on that gentleman, and he's good. He's good. He's a good man. But with the facts on him, had probable cause. But when it went to court, like I said, it was an agreement reached and everything. He wasn't convicted on it. He had 40 years of experience as a veterinarian, and the person who said they witnessed the situation was new, and so all you have to do is have a reasonable doubt. On that, you got to prove beyond reasonable doubt. So that from there we didn't have a vet. We just did what we could do. There was nobody in Sumner County that wanted to come and be a vet.
And can I help you with the timeline? When you're talking about time, it's flowing fluently in your story. What period of time are we at now?
So we went through the first vet and
We
the
went through
second
the
vet, and now we're in the no vet.
Right. No, we was in a no vet for a period of about 3.5 months.
What year was that?
That was 2018, 19, I'm saying 2018 or 19. I would have to look back on that last one. But we was able to, again, we sent letters out. I personally met with vets here in Sumner County. No one was interested in providing services. Why? there's two vets that's been prosecuted. So, you know, so they wasn't interested. So I continued to work, and we was fortunate enough to get our vet out of Macon County. I had 3 different meetings with him before he agreed to come on board, but after he came down, looked at the facility, looked at what we was trying to do, he agreed to become the vet, and he's been vet ever since.
Since 18?
Probably 19, I'm thinking. I would have to pull the papers to be exactly sure on there, but
He's part-time vet.
yeah, because you're a full-time vet. Williamson County's got 2 full-time vets and a part-time vet, and you're looking at average salary $80,000 to $100,000 a year for a vet. So we couldn't get anybody. He agreed to do it part-time, and so that's where we're at a particular time.
Is he contracted?
He was a verbal, just like the prior. It was a verbal contract between the sheriff's and the veterinarian. Yeah.
What is
agreement?
What is his salary? Or what is
If my memory serves me correctly, it was $2,166 a month. That consisted of 2 on-site visits a week. $2,166. Which if you add it round up, that's $25,000 a year. He can make that on X amount of animals. I mean, that's not like he's doing it to make money. He's doing it because he actually cares about the animals. And we're fortunate for that because, like I said, even some of these shelters now, they can't get vets now because they're just not available. They can't hire a vet. They look and try, and they just can't get them. So we was very fortunate on that. But the initial was twice a week. Come down and do a walkthrough. He takes care of any of the injured animals. We've got one in immediate care. If he can't come directly down, then we take the animal to him in Macon County.
And again, that's twice a week or twice a month?
Twice a week was the original intent. Then COVID hit. We had a good COVID and stuff. And when COVID hit, it changes everything. From there, like I said, he could possibly come just once a week, and he would try to make it up. But given the fact when his vets didn't show up at his practice that he was counting on, he had to, take care of his practice. But like again, we took animals to him when we needed to, and just worked that way. And what he done, he did a complete walk through the whole facility, looking at any animals. We make notes on the animals. Dog is flopping his ears around. That usually means the dog's got some kind of ear problem. But anything we see our dog's limping or a cat's limping a leg, favoring a leg, we'd write those notes down, and then he would come in, we would show him the animals, and he would examine the animals then, or he does a walkthrough and look at each one to be sure that he didn't see anything that we might have missed.
Does he do any telemedicine over at the?
Telemedicine, not that I'm aware of. He will call, we get some antibiotics from Publix, certain types that Publix don't charge for. We treat a lot of the cats that way because they get the upper respiratory. But we just pick up the phone call.
Tell him, on the computer, showing what's going on.
We pick up the phone and call him, and then if an animal's, like I said, I think one time they had 2 animals that got into a fight, and one of them had pretty good laceration. Took him up there, he cleaned it. Yeah, he cleaned it, sewed it up, and treated the animal. Antibiotics to keep it from getting infected.
We're kind of in the discussion phase already, it seems like, but I do want to entertain a motion to discuss this.
A second.
I guess I'll be the motion.
Aye.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
But that brings us to date. You had supervisors, you had the Detective McClary back then that took it over first, then Sergeant Sean Ryan. He was an animal control officer over there, and then Detective McClary put his time in, which is usually 4 to 5 years, and then transferred back out. And then Sean put his time in, and then it just happened to be a promotion, which I took over. I was there for 5.5 years, and then the current person is Lieutenant Chris Tarlacki. Lieutenant Tarlacki has about 26, 27 years of law enforcement experience. He was CID, and he also, in his CID aspect, did animal cruelty cases.
Could you explain the acronym for people that don't know?
CID, Criminal Investigation Division.
Okay.
So Lieutenant Tarlacki had all the training and stuff in reference to investigating animal cruelties. So he's the one that's currently, presiding over the facility now.
Okay. Does any of the other members have any other questions about, the timeline?
I do not.
If not, I like to throw something out there, see if it's the will of the committee. But we have citizens here that, are going to be on the committee, because one of them is my nominee, but, I'd like to, see if we could suspend the rules, to ask one of them's opinion, on the accuracy, not accuracy, but if there's any discrepancy that they saw the timeline differently, or if there's anything left out of, Lieutenant Marshall's timeline of their side of what it was, because I know they've got a lot of history with it too. Would that be okay with you guys? If we ask, one of the citizens to come forward and
I
just
think,
add to, or,
I think it would be, more appropriate to wait until our next meeting. We can have this timeline drawn up, and if any of us want to add to it, then we can do it at that time.
Yeah, because that way you can pull it all together, and then next time we can show it, and then if there is anything off kilter, they can bring it up. I think
Well,
it's hard to.
It's not off kilter, but there's just lots of,
Yeah,
like, I
don't
would
know.
wonder, like, the process, I'm more into the cost of everything. So I would wonder more about adding to the timeline, like when the food grant came into play, and items of that nature.
That's way back when, and the food is just something Morris Corporation does with a variety of shelters across the state, or across the region for that number, and it saves thousands of dollars.
Yeah, and I'm excited about that.
It saves $1,000. They don't do cat food.
Is there a cat grant out there?
There's no, I don't know, of any. We've always bought our cat food, at Walmart, just like everybody else.
Yeah, so maybe we could,
There's a lot
maybe
of things
Martin
that
knows the cat food.
yeah, there's a lot of things that you could do, but again, you gotta get the personnel available to write grants or to go and try to find. And right now, with the personnel that you got over there, they got enough time to answer the calls on the street and deal with the shelter, and the big thing is dealing with the trustees.
Yeah, understand.
And you have to watch.
We do have, well, we can talk about that as we go along, but we might can find someone to.
Anybody else
Find
can do this
somebody,
stuff?
yeah. And maybe it takes as little as telling some of our current grant writers in the county, you know, take an hour and see, you know.
So where are we with this motion?
I'll take you all's advice on that.
Did you make a motion on that? Or
No, I wanted to entertain, see what the, body's will was to do that, and I agree. I mean, that's fine, that we can wait on that, till next month, next week.
So old business for that item.
Yes,
Right.
please. And, yeah, that's gonna be the first one, go to old business.
Do you want us to vote to move it to old business, or we can just do it?
It's
If we leave
prerogative
it,
of the chair.
if we leave it, it just goes to old business, correct?
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's your chairman, we can move it to old
Yes,
business.
just move to old business. Okay, discussion on the purpose of animal control ad hoc. So, I want to state a few things for the record on this. There was a lot of citizens complaining about something that happened, with regards to animal control closing. We were satisfied with the answers for why they closed and implemented the, changes that fixed the problem with the ventilation and things like that. But through the questioning process, we learned a lot more questions that needed to be answered. And so, I thought it best to move it to ad hoc, because it would have eaten up all the time in health and emergency services to go through all these questions. I thought we could do more for the animals, more for the service department that's taking care of the animals, if we just move it aside and address some of these questions and concerns. The whole purpose, and I want everybody to be clear on this, is not to point fingers or accuse or anything like that, anybody. It's to look at procedures that have been done a certain way for a long time and see if there's better ways to do it, more efficient ways to do it, compare it to other facilities that are doing it around other counties to see if we can improve the way we spend money there to get more for the people that are taking care of our animals. And inevitably, just better health care for the animals and help with the problem that we have with animals, that goes to the spay and neuter question and the shots questions, the vaccinations. So
the purpose of the committee is efficiency, clarification, processes.
Sorry, Mr. Chairman.
Sorry.
no, that's
Get a motion to discuss this.
sure. That so no, that's okay. I mean, this is a procedural thing too. So for me, Larry, as chairman, discussing the purpose of me making that statement, and then is it okay to do discussion or use discussion first?
That's fine. What you were doing was you were introducing it, but then we were in discussion. We need to have a motion.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's basically it from my point of view, and I want to hear a more concise thing or additions that every other member wants to. What was their reason for wanting to be on the committee as well? So I'll entertain a motion to discuss for somebody else to give the motion. Because I don't want to make my own motion, so somebody else motion it.
Okay, I think you motioned and you seconded.
Who's going to motion it? Who's going to motion?
He asked for a motion.
I'm asking for a motion. I'm asking for a motion. Are you
He'd like a
motioning?
motion.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I'll make a motion to discuss.
I second it.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Some people don't like doing chairman making their own motions, so that's why I put it out there for entertaining the motion. But
You
we're
get
a
a lot
small
of
committee, I'm sure I could do that, but I just thought it would be fair to let somebody else motion, because you guys might catch me on something that we shouldn't be doing.
Okay, so we're gonna discuss it?
Yes,
Yes,
motion to
Right.
discuss on the floor.
So my, before I ran off my mouth without getting proper procedure here, the purpose of to be succinct, the purpose of the committee is to find ways to compare methods to improve, accentuate and hear concerns regarding animal control and efficiency measures, and a way for the community and the county and the sheriff's department come together as a team to make things better. That's all right.
Yeah.
Sounds like something I'd teach my students.
Does anybody else have an addition as to why they're here tonight, and what they want to come out of this?
It's just basically the review of current protocols or current ways being run, addressing concerns of the citizens, and making recommendations to the sheriff to be considered.
And to be clear, for the public, for all members of the board, and for the sheriff's department, animal control employees, there's going to be some poignant questions asked of you in particular, and I don't want it to be assumed that those are anything other than exploratory in nature. And why do you do that? Isn't that what happens this way? Why did you change it? Those aren't bad questions. We just really want to know, and then that'll lead us to other ideas, hopefully, of, well, if you did it that way before, maybe it needs to be done that way, or, you know, the date and time of which you start doing that, things have changed, and other people are doing it differently now. So those are the reasons that things like that are probably going to happen quite often.
So that would fall under the purpose, so you want to address up the statement, or? So what do you, read back what we have, if you don't mind, shorthand?
Yeah, shorthand, I'm an accountant, not a shorthand, I'm gonna be filling in with the tape. Yeah, I'll be filling in with the tape.
Purpose of animal control ad hoc committee.
Yeah, I will fill in from the tape with all that. I'm not a shorthand.
Does it sound okay? I mean, I think what you said, what he said, what I said, I think it sounds good for the purpose, because it's all actually just to make make it better.
make improvements, better efficiencies, and
Eliminate
I was
concerns.
just clarifying that things are gonna be asked that I don't want people to assume or.
Or just
I have a
education, helping educate the public. This committee is, I think, is gonna bring to light things that people have imaginations about, what's going on, you know, what happened, how's that work? Why did that happen? You know, those are, you know, you wanna eliminate, conspiracy, I guess. So I think that's the purpose of the committee, is to bring to light what we can do to make things better. And like you said, review policies, things like that.
And make the recommendations.
Yeah, make recommendations.
And if I could add, I would like to see us, when we wrap this up and put a bow on it, that we have written policies and procedures. I know that there'll be a lot of talk, as I see across the whole county, this is the way we do it, and usually it's a great way. But, unfortunately, we're not all here tomorrow, and my understanding of it might be different from Tim. So, I'll be looking to see that we have written policies and procedures. And when we talk about these things, that'll be a lot of what you hear is, you know, I'm wondering if it's written. So, one purpose of this
And you
would be.
cannot, excuse me for interrupting, but you cannot write a policy that covers everything. It's
I
impossible.
totally
And if you
agree.
do that, then it's called micromanaging, and it does not work.
Yeah.
But again, y'all have to understand, y'all can say and do all of this all day long and put 50 million policies down, and the sheriff can do it, or he don't have to do it. Understand that. That's what you don't, that's what people have a hard time understanding. The sheriff is in charge, period, end of story. And if the people don't like what the sheriff is doing, then they can go to the polls and vote for somebody new. That's how it works. But I guarantee you, the sheriff is caring. He does have policies. Public stuff needs to be updated, as they always do. They've been updating just a regular policy for years.
Oh, it's 350 pages.
Yeah, for years. But and we can get into you know, future as we're talking, our policy committee that was developed and what their role is and stuff like that. But like I said, the sheriff is willing to listen, take recommendations. But when everything's said and done, he's going to run his organization as the way he sees it. Regardless of what this committee says, regardless of what the public says. You have to understand that. That's what he is charged with by law. It's his office, bottom line, and he runs it. Only thing the county commission's got is budgetary. And then some people don't understand that that's all your job as an alder person or commissioner, a little bit more if you're an alderman, but as a county commissioner, your job is budgetary. That's what your job's for. That's a hard thing that we had to understand when we first started. What do you mean? We need to do this and that. Well, you can take the time and look into it, but you don't have no authority in that. What you got authority is purse strings. And then some county commissioner in the past, well, I'll just take those purse strings, right? We want folks to do this and we want folks to do that. Bad move. We all got to work together. Because then the constitutional officer can file a federal lawsuit against the county commission when they don't have the funds they needed based on the law and what they're responsible for. And every time that's ever happened, they've got everything they needed plus some. So again, that's just another thing. I'm approaching this as I've always been open, and you can talk to some of the people. I've been open, but I always had to do what I was directed to do and what the guidelines we have. I made lots of recommendations when I was over there. Some of them got followed, some of them didn't, just because of budgetary or whatever the reason was. But I just want to understand that the sheriff's willing, he's willing to listen, he's always willing to listen. But when it's all said and done, he's going to do what he believes is right.
Right. So we'll give recommendations up to him.
Yeah,
He
all kinds of
he won't be
recommendations, and
around.
I'm all for it. Miss Diana knows.
Okay, so that should conclude the discussion of the purpose that
Yeah.
I'm going to try it out. We don't need to. Well,
Maybe I got a little.
can you lay that on just for good citizens next month? You want to add a purpose to that, or is it necessary to add a purpose to the ad hoc if they have other reasons?
under old business
That's
and
what I'm
continue on, that's fine.
Just
Y'all
in
if that's
case,
what
we
y'all
can take it
wanna
off next month if we don't add anything to it, but,
do. Yeah, so move that to
so-
old business.
So you're saying we're rolling
No, D.
D?
Yeah.
Okay.
D's gonna be added to
D
old
and
business. D and D. So we'll continue on. E is the discussion of spay and neuter, and vaccinations concerned. That was the major thing, one of the, major things that came out of the report we got. It was mentioned, and a lot of question flags went up in people's heads as to why we're not doing that. So I'd like to, entertain a motion to discuss.
A motion to discuss.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
What I remember from, Mr. Chairman, from the last presentation that we had and what the sheriff said, Deputy Sheriff Craddock said, I think it was him, maybe it was somebody else,
Deputy Chief gave the first
said that
presentation.
they don't have the money to do that. Is that correct?
That's part of it, yes. The cost associated with the, doing everything.
I got some further question on that if you're gonna move on, or are you
If
gonna
that is
keep going
part
on
of it,
that?
what else is part of it?
Well, it's operational procedure, and like I said, if I may, and if please, the chairman, initial statement on this is two things. Number one, this is an animal control facility. It's not a restaurant. It's not a place where thousands of animals come in, and we've got 1,100 volunteers, and they do a wonderful job, and everything goes out. Natural Humane, like I said, I went down there and talked to the managers, and then after that set of managers got relieved of duty for different things that was happening there, I went down and spoke with the next management team that came up. But what they do, they got 1,100 volunteers down there. We used to have volunteers here, but we can't, because you can't miss volunteers and inmates. Because when you do, you got a problem. Just handing off stuff, all kinds of stuff, that's another whole issue. But if I may address the issue, proper protocol for shelters, and give me a signal if I miss this. But proper protocols would be what they want to see is on intake of an animal. When an animal first comes in an intake, they want to see it vaccinated upon intake. The reason for that is that it helps control diseases.
Which vaccines are you talking about?
All the vaccines that you're supposed to give an animal. They got Bordetella, which is chemical, right? They've got even the rabies shots. If the animal's parvo, they've got all these vaccinations, a list of them, that they would like to see once the animal's initial come into the intake is for all this to be done, boom, boom, boom. The sheriff's objection to that, and what he went off of law, is that animal does not belong to us.
Correct.
For a period of 5 days. That's our policy, and that's state law.
I've already had vaccines.
Exactly.
Yes,
So his objection to that, even though there's several private organizations that do this, we're not a private organization. We're county government. We are the government. Government has to deal with different rules and regs than your private industry does. Okay, that's the reason I said we're animal control. We're not a private entity. But his situation in looking at was that animal is not ours until the 5th day. After the 5th day, that animal does become us. His other thing was it's the cost on doing that for every animal that comes through the door. And I'll pass this out in a little bit, but I've got information from 2010 to 2018, 2019, and 2020 of the intakes and outtakes. You're talking, like I said, just in 2019 and 2020, 2,000 animals to 1,600, 1,800 animals that comes through our doors. And like I said, so they want every animal to be vaccinated like that to come in. Well, some of them severely injured. Some of them's got bad problems. but they want to be vaccinated, then that's a cost, right? That's going to be a cost per animal. So the sheriff said we can't do anything like that. Number one, he didn't have the funding to do every animal that's walked through the door, and number two, he doesn't own that animal for 5 days. So that was the information looked at for him to make his decision on that particular issue. Then you get now when the animals went over to adoption when I was there, they did receive their vaccinations and they did was neutered or spayed at that time. COVID hit. We all know what COVID did. It shut a lot of things down and prevented a lot of stuff.
Before you go there, can you go from the holding when we first get an animal in to the adoption side? Is there a time period that takes place when they move to a different
they
state?
want, they want you to be able to, what's a standard that they want you to go by or shoot for.
You said they.
It's just general standards of national shelter organizations. They put up recommendations and stuff, best practices.
Okay.
12 to 18 days.
They want you to hold before they go to adoption?
No. 12 to 18 days from that time that animal enters your facility till that animal is out of your facility, being adopted or rescued or whatever it's supposed to be. In a great world, that's great. On some animals, yes, on some, no. Like I said, it's not going to happen. But you look at information and what they put out, this is what you want to shoot for. Okay. This is what you want to shoot for. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. But that's a recommendation from them. From the time that your animal comes in, he goes to, or she goes to intake. At that time, as the animal gets evaluated, there's 15 different little tests that they do, different things to see if they got food aggression or see if they got play aggression or whatever the case may be, to see if that animal would be a good animal candidate to be adopted. Once all that's done, and once, like I said, it's looked at, he doesn't have any major problems, stuff like that, if their health is okay, if they did all right on the testing that's done, then we move that animal over to the adoption side. Like I said, we used to use spade and neuter, and I'll do a comment on that, because I was under the letter that I think Ms. McMahon showed you. We can talk about that, but we used to take the animals over to spade and neuter, and they would neuter and give them their shots. We'll get them back, and then they get adopted out. Sometimes it's very fast, sometimes the animals take a while. We have one that was there a year. That's way, way too long to have an animal in a shelter. But if nobody takes that animal, a rescue doesn't come in and take that animal, you still try. But anyway, so it goes through that process. That's the process it goes through. Other recommendations that I try to do.
I have a question before you move on. So,
Sure.
As far as when they get an adoption side, you said you used to go to spay and neuter. What's your procedure now? Do you have your veterinarian does that?
Yeah, the procedure now, because I got with Lieutenant Tarlacky, because he's been running it since 2021. I got promoted in 21 when I moved to Lieutenant. But anyway, he's been running since then. I spoke with him today. I said, I need clarification out of your mouth so I can, when I go to the committee night, I can tell him. Spoke with Lieutenant Tarlacky. He stated our vet is vaccinating the animals that are being adopted. The cost of the full vaccination that the vet is charging is $94 per animal.
Who pays that?
We do.
Why does the adopter not pay?
The adopter will upon an adoption fee, but we got to upfront that money. We were spending anywhere from $3,500 to $4,200 a month in vaccinations and neutering and spaying.
So that $94 is only vaccinations?
That's only vaccinations.
Okay.
If this particular vet, our vet that we're using, if we want the animal also to be spayed or neutered through him, his cost is $140. So
another $140 per spay and neuter.
So you're talking at his rate, which you'll be astonished at the rate he is $234 per animal. It seems like the start pricing at your vets. It's astronomical. It is astronomical. Poor lady.
Spay and neuter again was $140?
He's charging $140 per animal.
What was the
back when he first started,
94.
he wanted $186.
And that's every animal, even the little bitty kitten that,
So you're tied to those fees because of the vet we use.
Because of that
This is what
particular
it
vet,
is.
that's right.
He
Like
does.
Spade and
that's what we
neuter,
do.
now I'll tell you about spade and neuter. Spade and neuter is funded by grants. So their grants supplement what they charge. We was paying for a cat, a male cat was $68, okay, for a male cat. It was $78 for a female cat, because it's a little bit more it takes to do the females. The dogs would run us $98 in order to get the vaccines and have the spay or neuter done. But again, those prices are supplemented by her grant money that she gets in. Okay, so that's what that facility, spay and neuter, was charging the county. But again, the price is offset because she's got this grant money.
But you were still only paying the $94.
We was paying again
The
prior
price
to
you said.
$68 for a male cat, $78 for a female cat, $98 for the dog.
And she was getting the remainder of her fee from whatever she charged from the grant.
Well, her
she
grants,
gets
yeah.
From.
But those
and
are
state.
charges that she charges us and charges the
Okay.
community, and she could charge those rates and so much less because she was getting the
So
grant.
you guys cannot get that grant or don't have grant
What
writers to
changed,
ask for it?
I don't.
The vet.
What changed?
What James Harper? Oh, that's the letter that I was getting to. Sumner Spade and Neuter letter that, what happened on that is that we would have cats. If you don't know about cats, cats can get upper respiratory. When you put them in a shelter, one cat can come in, and before you know it, everybody's got it. It's bad. But we had the cat situation, so I had employees, and to let you know, I went through some employees over there that I did not think was needed to be there, and we had situations that are rolled up, and they got gone. And you'll see these rescue numbers, how low they were, and after a certain employee was gone, they started rising again, okay? So those are just management issues that you come in and having people work for you. But I went through all that and fairly did a good job, I think, working all that out. But anyway, but it was that, we had 137 cats in our facility at one time. We're not equipped to handle that many cats, but that's what people was bringing in, and people don't bring in one or two. They're bringing in 10 and 12 at a time from different areas in Sumner County. So at that time, we was abided by taking all the animals. We couldn't turn the animal away unless they were specifically bringing us to euthanize the animal, and then we could turn them away on that because we're not here to be euthanizing animals for the public, right? We did enough euthanasia to what we had to do. But so we would take everything that comes in, and we got to a capacity where we was overfunding, and they would recommend other places within the county that would take them, volunteer drive, Humane Society down there, Safe Place for Animals, things of that nature. But they also work off situations that they only got so much room and so much availability also.
But why did we stop using spay and neuter? That's my question.
Sarah wrote a big old letter that said that our animals that was brought over there were sick, and that we brought a dog that was emancipated over there, which dog was underweight. There's no problem with that. But if you want to get the animals adopted, you get them. She didn't like that. But all that letter, all that came from was from two of her employees volunteered to come over to the shelter to help because we had all these cats. We had baby kittens in there and their eyes was messed up and all this stuff. They got over there and they just felt so sorry for the animals and stuff, and they went back and bought them. That set Sarah off, made her mad.
Right.
And her employees, they're over there, these animals over there, they're in this shape, So that's when she got mad and fired her letter off and said, well, we're not going to accept any more animals.
What was her point of doing that?
Because
to try to get you to do a better job, or just saying we're done, we're not dealing with this?
yeah, until you get that your animal's not being sick or not being this way, we're not going to take anymore. I personally testified because I was in her organization on a daily basis at times that she had animals coming in from other locations in filthiest containers you ever seen before in your life. The stench was just unbelievable. But she was still taking those animals, and those animals also being sick.
So is there any way that, so since that has its history, is there any way they would reconcile that?
They have talked. They have done some since that, and have talked on it. Again, Sarah and her organization, and you've got history between that organization and the sheriff's office because they used to work out of our facility. Bob Barker went into an agreement with them that charged them $1 a year for a place to do that because it was helping the public and stuff. Well, when Bob passed, unfortunately, and Sonny took over, discussion was made about doing some of our animals at a real cheap price or for free because they're getting this whole space for $1 a year, right? She didn't like that. She got upset and moved out. They've been gone ever since.
What was the spay neuter fee for dogs?
It would
90.
it would cost us $98 for a dog. That's shots and spay and neuter combined through her.
No, what was you guys' charge for it?
What do we charge for it?
Yeah.
We don't charge, we had a set fee. My fee, at that particular time was $100 adoption for a dog and $70 adoption for a cat. That was set by the sheriff.
But that's adoption fee. I'm trying to get down to the actual spay and neuter cost.
We pay the cost, and the cost that she was charging us, billing us, and I'll probably get a hold of those, is, like I said, was $98 for the dogs, and depending on the cat's male or female, it was, 68 for the male, 78 for the female.
So 98 for the dogs, just flat fee spay or neuter, and
Right.
that's what she was charging you.
Yes, that's
Now
what we was paying.
Now that they're not charging you, you have to do it yourself. If you were to do it yourself without a grant, what was the fee on that?
$140 plus the 94, so it cost us $234.
Okay, so the cats and the dogs are the same flat fee.
He treats all the animals as one.
Okay, so 140 is the total for no grants if you have to put the bill yourself, whether it be a cat or a dog. 98 for dogs, 68 to 78 for cats. Got it. 90 and the backs.
Again, don't get confused.
Yeah.
And now, and Sarah, like I said, just started doing some more, but through our vet, his pricing was $140 per animal, cat, dog, male, female, you see. And then $94 is he charging to administer all the vaccinations.
Got it.
Okay.
So I see $67 average for cats. I just shot in the middle for male and female is what it would cost extra since she wouldn't be doing it. You guys would have to do it yourself. That's a lot per animal. As many animals you have. I understand why you can't afford to do it, but that begs for some kind of relationship to be fixed or healed there because, in my opinion, we cannot, in the county, adopt out animals that are not fixed.
Well, and I've got information on that.
So right now, are people paying that amount? Like you say you're charging $70 for a cat and $100 for a dog?
I charged, when I was there, and the fee was set by the sheriff, $70 for a cat, $100 for the dogs.
So you're at a loss for everyone that you get spayed.
The dogs is $2 by the time you add the food and all the rest of the place. Yeah, you're losing money, and we're not there to make money on animals at all. We're there just to find those animals a good place to live. That's
You're there to fund the program.
The cats at $70, we was $2 a head if it was a male, but if it's a female, then we lost $8.
$2 for.
Yeah, $68 under Sarah, under spay neuter. We adopted for $70, so it was actually $2 there. But it was a female cat, it cost $78, and we were charging $70 for the cat.
But that doesn't include the vaccinations.
That did through, that's the vaccinations and the spay neuter through her.
Was 68 and 78?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Again, she supplemented her costs again through her grants that she gets.
So she has started to kind of,
yes,
work
they
it open
have
the door.
talked, they have met,
Okay.
they have discussed. She has done some animals. Now, to what extent that will lead into,
Yeah.
you know, maybe it'll get back to the old ways, maybe it will not. But that's a decision for Sarah.
Seems like the key to all this is grant writing and maintaining the relationship with somebody who does it. So you guys would write your own grants if you had somebody to do that.
Again, being a government entity, like I said, private entities couldn't possibly or be qualified for some grants where we may not be qualified for.
But at least it could be
But we
explored.
it could be an explorer, it's correct.
Because if you could do it, that would control everything to where you don't have to depend on the relationship of them charging the fee. You'd still have to depend on them whether or not they would want to do it, just because of hurt feelings or, you know, anger or whatever, but it wouldn't make the cost depend on.
But with Sarah talking to them again, and they've had meetings, and Ms. McMahon's a part of that also, then that's a good sign. And I like Sarah. We just had a difference of opinion there a couple of times, which you're going to do. We agreed to disagree, and Ms. Diane and I did that part again.
That's an improvement, that's fine.
But that's still feelings and stuff. We need to get some kind of contract
They're good.
that protects them from just turning their back on.
No, they're a 501.
They're a private organization, yeah. They're 501(c), and they can do X, Y, and Z.
But I'm saying absolutely.
Yeah, but she was willing, if she's talking, that she's willing to try to, my opinion, for what it's worth, she's, thinking about getting back into it.
You broke open the door, that's good.
So, I totally agree with all of this conversation, but I don't feel like that we need to dig down all the way into the weeds tonight. I mean, I personally would like time to think over this before we continue. I mean, we can sit here and we can continue to discuss this, but I think that we've made a good start on this issue of spade, neuter, and vaccines, and understand some more of the history. And if we could move this topic to old business.
Sure.
And come back.
Got one more thing, the state law under the spade and neuter, per Tennessee State Law 44-17-503, Section A. If a dog or cat being adopted has not been spayed or neutered, the agency shall require a deposit of not less than $25 from the new owner prior to the adoption in order to ensure the dog or cat is spayed or neutered. The new owner may request and shall receive a refund of the deposit from the agency upon providing confirmation of the spade and neuter. When all this went down with Sarah, that is when the sheriff elected to go. Tennessee state's law says, do this. You can do this.
I understand.
I understand. But you got to understand procedure, and you got to understand funding and availability.
When was that law written?
And it's been updated here in 23, 24. And I've got copies for everybody. State law. Now you can, and so he is operating within the Tennessee state law. Period in the story.
Yeah, I'm not accusing him of that.
No, I'm not. This is for informational purposes.
Sure.
Is what this is for. Just to let you know. Now, is that a good practice? That's what you can, debate on whether we want to do what state law says, or if we want to do above and beyond. But given COVID and given a bunch of stuff like that, that's the reason that we went there. But let me tell you, this is one last thing. Diana knows I talk forever. The $25, or whatever it's said. I found out today that the current fees they charge for an animal that's not vaccinated is just this $25 fee. Okay?
Wait, I'm confused. I'm not being smart.
No.
That's just what you just said.
Who's charging?
Yes.
The current fees that they're charging is $25 per animal.
That's what I was going to tell you. I found out today. If the animal is vaccinated, then they are charging $55. Okay? If the animal's not vaccinated or neutered, then they're only charging the deposit here, right? Of $25. Right, of $25.
This is animal control, right?
Yeah. Now I'm saying that, he hit me with that today, and I thought, because
That's what I saw on the website.
is that on the website?
Yes. I believe it is, I have to go back and check.
But that is something new, for me, because
And I'll check that.
we weren't making any money at all, we're just trying to break even before, and then they elected to go this route. Why? That's something that you would have to
I'm
ask.
sorry, I'm not tracking that.
Okay, sure.
So you stated
I'll check
Tennessee
that
state
later.
law, and are you
I'll check that
basically
later.
saying, and they're doing it?
Because I can't.
They're charging 25?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes.
No, that's,
But I'm just saying, before it's a flat rate of $70 and $100, period in the story. And then now it's 25 and 55 from what I, but we're paying $94 to have animals vaccinated. That 55, that's not gonna cover the vaccination. They still have to do the 25, right? But that's fine. All you gotta do is go get your copy. And Sarah, just for the record, Sarah was taking our animals from the people that adopt them from us, and they've taken them over to Sarah.
what's your percentage of people that come back and get their $25 deposit back?
In today's time, I don't know. They want that money back. I would have to ask them to run figures, and they would do that through the shelter and through finance. Because finance has to issue a check back, to the individual.
So can I make a motion that we move this to old business for next month and kind of revisit this to get clarification? Because he's gonna hand us some information. I've got time, I need time to review it.
I would just amend that to, as we roll it, to old business, that as a item to do, if you would like to follow up, Mr. Jones, to ask finance for that number, so that when it comes back from, on old business, and someone have it.
Which number?
The one that you asked about, how many people get the $25 refund, if you ask finance, they'll be able to tell you.
Our finance or food?
No,
We share finance.
yes.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that.
David Loring, he should be able to pull that information for you.
Okay.
Because they have to cut an individual check per person.
Well, we don't have to, vote on this. We can just
Yeah,
vote.
right.
So no motion necessary.
Yeah, if I'm asking you, would you like that?
Yeah.
Or would you like me to?
Yeah, we just need to do that. That doesn't have to be a
I'm just,
motion, right?
No,
Knowing one of you guys.
one of us is
Do it.
going, I'll do it.
Do you speak with him often? I'm sure you do. Could you do that, please?
Yeah, she's in that other meeting with him, that other meeting.
I figured you're gonna see him 5 times before I talk to him next. Okay, thank you for doing that, Commissioner Boyd. So that's moved on business as well. Discussion on animal intake. I know nothing about this, and I did not, add it to the agenda, but somebody did, so thought it was important enough, so I'm gonna
We just
open the
talked
floor
about it.
We touched it, yeah, we touched it.
We've already talked about it.
Well,
Briefly.
is there just some things you wanted to say about it, or?
Well, it's just like I said, animal intake, it's a good practice, to do that, because it does limit, diseases and stuff for us in a shelter. Again, he would just have to give an opinion. Let me say, if it was on me, I don't want to speak for the sheriff on this, but if it was me, I would just want to get an opinion from our county attorney about the 5 days, and could we do it, only do it because it's an acceptable practice, or do we have to wait the 5 days and then we can do it?
So to be clear, this is a discussion about the procedure for
I guess we
animal
need,
intake.
yeah, do we need a motion in order to discuss it?
Well, no, I'm saying procedure, instead of just discussion about animal intake, this is a discussion about the procedure of animal intake and
We
how
need
to
a
make it
motion.
better or
Correct.
whatever.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, motion to discuss.
Motion to discuss.
Second.
Very good. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Go ahead. Boyd.
Have to write down that motion.
No, you're good. I just was unclear about what the, animal intake
Just
is.
so y'all know, I might be proposing we pay note takers more than $100.
Well, I'll you in a favor, sir.
I think, Commissioner Janung added this item.
Okay.
I believe.
Sure. I just wanted
so-
whoever added it to have the freedom to
And
discuss
I
about it, so.
I'm not sure, but I do have a question with animal intake report. Is that something that, I don't know where to get those or how to get those. Is that something we can get at this committee, or how does the
We
public
can
get
ask,
those?
well, like, so far as all that, that's just in her office. I would have to ask Carlaggy what is their current procedure. Back when I was there, and it took some time, but they wanted us, I bought 3 brand new scales at $300-something a piece to weigh the animals in when they come in. We had a sheet at one time, that we were trying to teach the inmates, the trustees, the proper way to fill them out. What they would like for you to do in a standard practice is upon the animal coming in, the animal should be weighed. He or she should be scanned, of course, for a chip, which they do that. They're supposed to do that. And if they got a rabies tag, whatever, you get that number and stuff like that. You look at the animal, you examine the animal as far as your supplemental intake to see if you can see anything that's outstanding toward you. Bad eye, bad heel, bad whatever the case may be, anything that you would recognize as an animal may need care of. And some of these animals come in and they're in horrific shape.
Does every animal get a file, whether they have an eye? If they have, there's nothing notable, they still get a file?
They get assigned a number.
White dog?
ID number. Okay. When they come in, the kennel form, which I can bring one for you next time, has a picture of the animal. It has the animal's identification on it, male, female, what breed, approximate age, whatever the case may be. All that is on there with an assigned shelter number to that animal. And where that animal goes from intake to adoption, being adopted out, that number stays with it. So if they want to run a request on 234436 German Shepherd, it would pop up and show the intake was this day, moved to adoption this day, adopted out this day. And what was done while it was here, they've got a medical book that we kept with the daily what the vet does. Vet treated 2345 female German Shepherd, vet with ivermectin or whatever the medicine that he or she was using on that time. And that is usually a handwritten that they would then transfer into the computer. But yeah, there's supposed to be a tracking of that. It's supposed to be entered into the computer, so that way you've got vaccination records, everything like that is there that you can do a printout for the person who's doing the adopted animal.
Okay. So then back to, I would, as we explore this, I would like to look at those.
Sure.
And just to understand what the trends are.
Yeah. I can give you the software they're using, because you have to pay fees and stuff for whatever software you're using. And just like recommending the Pet Finder. The reason the Pet Finder, when I was there, again, from my view, was that we constantly, as far as the agency, as far as our wonderful computer system and software, had problems linking up with Pet Finder. Other agencies, other shelters, they didn't have a problem. They could get on there and do whatever. Our system that we had, Citrix, horrible, but it had a connectivity problem in loading all that up. Our IT worked hours and hours with the company and stuff. They would get it fixed for a little bit, and then it would revert back to it. So currently, what they're doing, they're not using Pet Finder, but they have found their success, from what I was told from Lieutenant Tarlackey, through the Facebook. And they put all their stuff on Facebook. That's what I was told.
Well, a lot of people, not everybody's on Facebook.
It's a great idea to add that, but we've got to get the Pet Finder part fixed, whether it be reach out to RIT to help you guys.
It is a platform, one of many that is out there.
But it seems to be the one that everybody gravitates towards.
Sometimes.
For us not to be on that, well, whatever it changes to, we need to be on that one.
And
each time it migrates. So.
County IT, it's county IT, and that's all I'll say about it.
Yeah, but we can make requests and we can.
They had vendors that came out from the software company, and they'll fix it for a little while.
Well, maybe with our new director at IT, we could get him to take a peek at it and see what he
We can
can
at least
come
ask
up
the
with.
questions.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
never hurts to ask.
One question that I had was.
And then,
I'm sorry.
Were you on my question? Keep going. Yeah.
No, I was just, should I call over there to get these reports, or would you
Tell me what
email
you need,
them?
and I'll get them.
Just what I was saying, the intake reports, I'd just like to see how we're trending as our population grows, and that's something that we're all aware of in many areas, is, be it schools, be it roads, be it waste, be it anything, and I'm just interested in how that's looking as we plan for the future.
Sure.
Also, I know that we're not, there's a lot of people, at times, tighten down, as we all see the economy constricting. we're gonna have more and more people, and I know there's quite a few people that come and just say, I can't have my dog, or, you know, unfortunately, grandma has moved for that. This is her, and she told me.
That's something that was implemented after.
To surrender their pet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's
I
something that's
wonder-
been implemented before. Before we was under the, thing that we take the animal.
So I wonder, you know, we are, be it whoever's responsibility it is, we government are here to service the citizens, whatever they want. They want us to build this Tower of Babylon, they wanna pay for it, we'll take their money, we build it, we do what they want. So I'm wondering how many citizens have shown up, you know, how big is our waiting list, and do we need to put resources to, and.
I was told at one time, just when that was brought to my attention, I was doing that, and I just went, okay. He had 15 on the waiting list at one time. That was when I had inquired.
I've had people tell me that they've called and couldn't drop their animals off, and I say, oh, you know, I mean, it's, you know, it's.
Honestly.
And I don't know that
COVID was a big concern. COVID was a big problem.
Oh,
Just because nobody knew what it was and how it spread and stuff like that. So that was the first time that they've ever closed the shelter, was during the COVID area. And then this last closing that they've done, that was strictly at the recommendation of the vet. Thought that was best place practice to do. That was his recommendation. He's a vet. They follow his recommendation. Is there other ways that you could have done it? Probably so. But at that time, the decision was made to follow the recommendation of your vet. He's the man. He's the one that's got all the schooling and everything. And so that's the reason that was done. And like I said, we don't need to get into it tonight, but we talk about building layout, all kinds of stuff, that some corrections could be made, but once again, you're talking, it takes money. You need a dedicated space that you can, take 6 animals to. Having the animals like in the cat room, in there with the cats that are not sick, you can clean, you can take and put the blankets or things down over so if they sneeze, you know, it doesn't go out. But that's just not a good thing. If you got a sick animal, you need to have a place that you move to, which we do have, since they knew to move out that area over there that they do use, but it's just not equipped to do what needs to be done. In order to get it equipped, you won't have to.
So when I get the intake numbers, I'm just wondering if they track the waiting list, and if I could get those numbers.
Okay, yes, I'll get it done.
So probably you can get in
I can,
a couple weeks,
I can probably have it tomorrow or the next day.
Okay, that'll give you time to.
Are we gonna
can
take
share
that to-
and look at it. We'll have it ready for next
I
time
was
to
just,
discuss.
if that's okay.
Mr. Chairman, I have a question. Are we taking animal intake to old business?
Yes,
session?
yes, we'll start on old business. Is there any other questions on animal intake? I have one out of curiosity here, don't need to take a lot of time, but do we have any like breed prejudice or anything like that for intake, or do we take
No,
in all
we take 'em
animals
all.
and adopt all animals?
We take them on.
Look at their demeanor, not their breed, for adoption?
Yes, like I said, you know, like I said, there's some things that have changed over there since I've been there. But my understanding is, because you've got a pit bull that you wanna bring in, we take all them, they get a bad rep, there's a lot of good pit bulls.
Oh, yeah.
There's just a section of them, because the way people have treated them and stuff, it makes them look
I
like.
agree 100%.
Yes.
That's kind of my point of asking.
Yeah, and
Wanna
but
make sure
all
we get-
breeds, all things, and always when you get a real good animal, you get an English bulldog in, or you get, you know, just one of the ones that are well sought out. 15 people want that animal all at the same time. So, no, there's no, as far as I'm aware of, at this point in time in the meeting, is that they're supposed to take them all there.
Good, good.
But if I can step on your question, let's say an aggressive dog comes in, I would like to, on old business, this evening, discuss the procedures for the aggressive dog, because I believe that's what we're asking, not so much breed discrimination, but, I mean, the aggressive behavior comes with certain breeds. So if we could, next time.
Sure.
The procedure on how an aggressive animal is intake.
Sure. If that concludes, the discussion on that, I have a question, for our parliamentarian here. So like, how do we, move, to create an agenda for next month? Is that done, outside of this with
The items
call to
will
you,
be sent to you as the chairman of the committee, and then they'll come to me to prepare the agenda, and I'll send the agenda to you to review it.
So we can discuss and put those items to you and create the
They
agenda
come
that
from
way.
you.
They don't have to be done here.
No, they come from you.
They come from you.
Right, but if somebody has something they want to
Yes,
add,
if
goes
somebody
to
wants to
you.
add something, be it
discuss
the public or,
about
any department or whatever, they come to
Okay.
you. You set the agenda, we have the old business items, those will go under old business.
Right.
And the new items will,
So I've had discussions with other chairmen of other committees, but I've never been the chairman, so I don't know how they
You'll
get
be
from there to
it's a learning
to the piece
process.
of paper. So, yeah, that's what I wanted to make
We
sure
do
we're
this
doing
several
it properly.
times, we do this several times a month.
I understand, you're the
Or today.
expert.
Or today.
Okay, well, there's one more thing to have a motion
No.
for.
Motion to adjourn.
Hold on, no.
Oh, wait.
We have a citizen appointment.
Oh,
Added
yeah,
to the
we
agenda.
skipped a,
That was, I added as G as the.
oh, we
here.
did, yes,
That was a
sorry,
citizen
that's my
appointment.
fault.
We're actually asking for two.
What I would recommend for that, this is, you all do what you all are gonna do, but I'd have an odd number. If you add, 2 right now, you'll have 6 instead of a.
So only voting,
Time
though, is it the commissioners that can vote on them?
No.
It's, as far as I'm
Just
aware,
the
it's
committee.
the whole committee members, everybody on the committee can vote. So, or for quorum purposes, or for majority voting purposes, it's advisable to have an odd number.
Does that go within the standing rules with the commission rules that non-commissioner members can vote on subcommittees and committees?
Yes, I mean,
Okay.
they do.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, on financial management, for example,
Yeah, there.
I mean, there's several committee examples. I mean, that's what pops into my mind,
I'd
but.
like to make a motion that we bring to Health and Emergencies next meeting to address the membership of this committee. Be it numbers, be it nominations, but anything within the discussion of members of this committee.
Before asking for a second, I wanted to discuss still. Is that okay?
And motion discuss, and then.
Yeah, motion to discuss.
Second.
Yep,
All in favor?
yep.
Aye. So, to your point about tie votes, all we're doing is recommendations. Would it matter if it's a positive, negative, or a tie vote recommendation to bring to the next committee, or we're not voting on something to implement for the full commission or Health and Emergency Services. This is coming out of committee,
Yes.
correct, and going straight to a suggestion.
Yes, but you want to have like a positive or a negative and not just basically a neutral tie vote. I mean, it's up to you guys how you want it. It's not a problem, but it's just,
I think if it's
just
So that would
clear.
mean we would need to add 3.
It's a clear delineation of the will of this body, is what I'm basically saying.
And my motion gives you until Monday to think about it.
I don't want to bring it
Oh,
before the
yes,
health,
Monday.
I may not want to bring it before the Health and Emergency Services if we can handle it here,
That's
is what I'm trying to get to.
Health and Emergency Services next month.
I would think,
Yeah, because we were able to do it, and then the holidays kicking everything else back.
We've already.
So we already did
oh, we
that.
did it.
Yeah.
Oh, and then, I remember.
We just get the long break between
It's been a
because
long
it's
day,
almost
I'm
day.
so sorry.
No, but my intentions are, if we don't have to take it to Health and Emergency Services, we don't. If we can handle it within here.
Well,
We have to vote on the citizen there, but we don't have to do.
Yeah, you have to choose who the composition's going to be from that board. That body's going to have to do that.
Right, but I don't want to bog them down with structure of the committee if we can handle it ourselves. That's why I'm hesitant to do it.
They voted on the 3 commissioners and the sheriff's representative.
Correct.
I think what's left for
Citizen at that committee, but the chairman did not tell me we had to vote on that there that day, because I was trying to handle all that within that committee. It just got pushed through without actually voting on the citizen.
I believe this, the commissioners, representatives, you guys were decided on who the commissioners would be. So that's, if I recall correctly, I mean, I could be wrong. And then we had a representative from the sheriff. You were decided on, I think, later. The sheriff,
Sure,
It should be in the minutes, a citizen, and I had the citizen's name also, but it wasn't told that we had to vote on that citizen in Health and Emergency Services, because I thought we could vote on that citizen here.
I have a motion.
I
I
thought we could
withdraw
just
my,
pick them.
I withdraw my prior motion.
Okay.
I'd like to make a motion that, the chairman and legal department figure out the proper procedure and notify us all.
That's what y'all want to do. We'll do it.
I just don't want it to delay the citizen appointment, because that's something that,
It will delay it until at least at the very earliest, the next Health and Emergency Services Committee meeting, because this committee will not meet until after that. So that's what I'm saying. We'll have time to discuss between now and then, is what she's saying.
is there anything that could be done in the interim to have a vote on a citizen outside of a regular committee meeting?
If you want to do a special call meeting of this,
Just like over email or something?
it'll have to be a
like
special
that?
call meeting of this.
We have to get together.
Yes.
The H lesson.
Yeah, if I don't see any other way around it, I guess our suggestion is the only way we can do it. Does anybody else have any suggestions?
I would just suggest that we bring it to the Health Emergency Services, clarify the citizen or citizens, and then nominate who those citizens are with recommendations from the public.
Well, let's just go ahead and nominate one citizen right now, and then if it changes by the time we go to Health Emergency Services, then we change it to that point. We can go ahead and knock out the nomination right here and be ready to.
And it's still up to them to decide.
Right.
I would, in my opinion.
Would that save some time to go ahead and nominate a citizen right now?
I think it would be, these
Yeah.
bring it forward to, next Health and Emergency Services Committee to, vote on
As the
that.
subcommittee recommends.
Okay, so we have, so I
Nominate-
want to make a second motion,
I
so
withdraw
everybody's
all
on
my
the floor?
motion.
Okay, that makes it
We'll
easier.
clean it.
That makes it easier. So I make the motion to nominate, Diana Townsend to this committee as the citizen. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right,
Okay, so that'll go before Health Emergency Services to be voted on.
Just, make sure you get with, Commissioner,
Right.
Rogers about that, make sure that's on the agenda. So that's basically how you do it. It'll go to him,
Right.
then he'll give me the agenda items, and I'll prepare the agenda, just kind of FYI for your,
Okay.
doing, yeah.
And then just to clean this up, you continue to say two citizens, but we're only going to recommend one, so that's adding a bit of confusion. So I don't, I'm not forcing you to address it, I'm just asking you to clean it up.
No, I'm saying that to where we can proceed with the one, and in the meantime, if we talk, because I figured you were gonna make that motion now for him and I to do an aside later and figure out the procedure to put a second citizen or not, to have an even number or not, and if we choose not to, this is going forward regardless. The second one, do we have to have a motion and a nomination, here to get the second citizen on?
If you wanna
Later,
make-
can we do that at HM?
If you want to make a recommendation like you did for the citizen, you can recommend that they add another member if you wish.
And I'll be done there, not here.
You can spec now, you could recommend anything to them if you want to for their action. So right now, just make sure I understand this. We have a recommendation to send Diana Rogers' recommendation to,
Diana Townsend.
sorry,
To
my bad.
Darryl Rogers.
To Darryl,
To Chairman
yeah.
Rogers.
Diana
Townsend.
I put Diana Rogers on there. Townsend, to Health and Emergency Services Committee for their consideration for the appointment to this committee.
Yes.
That's the, as my understanding of what you have right now, it's already been voted on.
Mhm.
Anything else would be in addition to that.
We can always change the composite at any time.
Yeah.
To do nothing.
We could bring on another citizen later, or we could suspend the rules to hear from somebody outside the committee if we need to have more, but we can maintain the, odd number for.
It's kind of funny that, we have 24 commissioners, but I just realized that.
Yeah. Bit your word.
Maybe you think
But
that's
you
your
got the
advice going
chairman.
forward.
I mean, the chair can be the tiebreaker.
Yeah, I'm saying it's a little bit different.
But he votes.
He's part of the vote, the mayor.
Well, that was just my thought. Odd always makes it easier, so you can have either a positive or a negative
Mayor at the
recommendation.
time, we took that out, didn't we?
A positive or negative recommendation. And then it's also for quorum purposes. So you have 6 members and 3 show up. You still can't conduct business. There has to be a majority of members present, so you have to have the 4th member show up. with 6 members. I mean, it's just a matter of convenience, I'd say,
Yeah. So this sounds like moving forward with this sounds better for right now.
For now.
And we can always change it if we need to.
Mhm.
We may add 2 more after that if we had to make it even another odd number. So everybody satisfied with that so far? Any other motions to be made that you know of?
I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.